Our gang is Hexy, and we are messing with some more Band of Brothers. We're playing from Battle Pack 1. This is an East Front scenario, so yay for Hexy. So we are playing scenario E5, I think it's called. Yeah, E5, it's called Tiger Paw. So the way this is explained is, at this time in the war, as the Germans, this is south of Leningrad somewhere, the Germans are starting to get a little thin in the lines. So they started creating these, we'll call these the first QRF teams, first quick reaction forces. And they would put little small bands of armor together and, a few tanks and put them behind the lines, and then they would react to the areas where they were needed. That's the basic definition of this. So first thing in this, I'm going to cover this in this right now, and hopefully somebody, Worthington or the guys that created the game, will hear this and answer this question for me. This is January of 1943, okay? Now I'm going to get my chart in my hand here so that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so on this chart at the bottom, you have what it talks about for your Panzerschrecks and Panzerfausts. And you'll see in that first dark green line, 1942, they're not available. And then they don't become available until August of 1943. Okay? So that tells me there are no Panzerfausts. However, the counters they require for the scenario have Panzerfausts on them. So I'm confused. Anyhow, the chart says they're not available, so these guys, in my opinion, don't have them. So they're just there to close assault tanks if they can. All right, so here's the deal. The Russians have they have multiple tanks. They've got T-34 M41s and T-34 M43s, and they got some T-70s. All they have to do, they have two options. Get one tank off this west edge over here, all right? And by the way, let me back up. It's a big map. It's got 12 boards on it. And it's funny, too, because the Battle Pack expansion has one big fold-out board you use for something, but you got to use the boards from 3 other games for this scenario, all right? So they have to get one tank off that edge of the map somewhere, and there can be no Tigers sitting on this hill. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Or they can exit 7 vehicles off the western edge of the map over here, and it doesn't matter, all right? We've played one turn. Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is this game doesn't have any wrecked vehicle counters. It stinks. It needs wrecked vehicle counters. It needs to have a silhouette of a tank with flames coming out of it. So in this game here, when a tank gets eliminated, you flip it over to its backside, which says concealed. All right? I want some wrecked counters for this thing. I don't think there's any more production for this game. And I will say this too. You want an easy squad level or tactical level game like this, this is it. This is a good one. It's very, very simple. The rules are easy to read. A couple little things that are missing there, but I cover them as I talk about other stuff. So anyhow, I broke these things down to 3 columns. Put a couple of T-70s, or at least one T-70 at the head of each column as bait, okay? And let's see what happened. First 2 tanks here, destroyed. All right, but the other 4 got out there in the open. Here's a weird one. Whenever you roll a 1 in fire combat of any kind, that's a suppression. Well, for vehicles, it's elimination. So I have a 155 artillery piece, which you see is sitting right there. 155? Or 150. All right, I pretty much had to roll a 1. Rolled a 1 right on that first tank after doing proficiency and accuracy. So the artillery destroyed a tank, okay? And then you see they've got 2 more burning hulks over here. So this tank was destroyed, okay? And then up here, this guy tried to sneak through there by that hut to get out into the field. He got smoked, okay? He got smoked by a PZ-3N. The Germans have 2 Tigers. I got them sitting on this hill, all right, and a 37 millimeter gun. And they've got 2 PZ-3Ns. I got one here, and I got one up there, and then they got the infantry there. And pretty much the infantry is just spotting for the 1 artillery piece we have. And you got a set of mortars right here who they really don't. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. Probably have to use they're a weapons team, and they can shoot. I haven't used that yet. I'm not even sure what I'm going to use it for. Maybe fire smoke or something. I don't know, okay? But anyhow, so there we are. We're kicking off this thing here. Next scenario. This took place on January 12th of 1943, and the Russians are trying to break through there. to the west, I guess. Yeah, they're moving west. So are these guys trying to break into Leningrad? Huh. I need to read a little bit more about it. But the scenario is called Tiger Paw. You get it in the Battle Pack 1 expansion for the Band of Brothers. And come on, you got the good-looking maps. The counters are actually nice looking. They're easy to understand for the most part. Vehicles do have a facing. You see the arrowhead pointing to the front. That's, you got to face to a vertex. Cost of vehicle, 1 movement point to change 1 vertex in a hex. So when they're making this turn down here and this, they got to go 1 and then 2, and burn 2 movement points to move. Movement, this is considered snowy, I guess. So it's 1.5 movement points. They can move through a wrecked vehicle at an extra half movement point. But you can't stack in there. So if you can't move through and get to the other side, you're not moving through at all. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 left. And we're only starting turn 2, and this thing is 9 turns long. All right, we'll get back to you when we get them more played. See you.